Is there anything more uncomfortable than fighting with someone who lives in your house? It's terrible when we fight with our family, with our spouse, with our child. It just feels so uncomfortable. And it makes what should be your safe space, your home, feel like a place where you're walking on eggshells. Now, there are several ways to deal with conflict, but it's extra important when you're dealing with conflict that's going on in your own home, that you take care of it quickly and in a way that makes you feel good about the solution. There are three main things that you need to avoid if you want to resolve a conflict in a healthy way. You want to avoid dwelling, you want to avoid depersonalization, and you want to avoid detachment. Dwelling just means when you linger on an issue. You know, when you're arguing with somebody and an hour later you're thinking, oh man, I really should have said this and I should have told them that, and that happens because you're dwelling. You're still thinking about the issue. Well, dwelling is entirely past focused. And the best way to get over a conflict, particularly one that exists in your own home, is to be forward thinking, be solution oriented. Stop dwelling, because dwelling is all past thinking. The next thing you want to be sure that you're not doing is depersonalizing the other person. It's real easy when we're in a conflict with someone, we know our own position, and it's very easy to depersonalize the other person, to not think of them as human or someone with equal needs, wants, and desires as yourself. But you have to resist the urge to depersonalize, because the more you depersonalize the other person, the worse you're going to treat them. The easier it will be to say ugly things to them that you don't mean. So don't depersonalize. And finally, you want to make sure that you don't detach. Detaching is when you tell yourself it doesn't matter. It's when you pull away from the other person. So, for example, if you have a reaction like saying, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. That passive aggression, that's a form of detachment because you're not engaging with the conflict and with the other person. And you may think that that's going to de-escalate the situation, but actually depersonalization ends up escalating the conflict. So there are three things that you want to do if you're faced with conflict in your own home, and that is to avoid dwelling, depersonalization, and detachment. If you stay engaged and you keep having a high regard for your spouse or your kid, whoever that conflict is with, that's the quickest route to solving the conflict and all of you feeling better.